There are countless communities across the country where many of the retired residents embrace this chapter in their lives. Bingo. Taking it easy and relaxing. Sidney Levy is one of these people. He likes to sit back and be captivated by words and images at a leisurely pace, but appearances can be deceiving. There are many more dimensions to this man. Even though he is in his 90s, he is constantly on the go. Levy loves to exercise, to teach, and to learn. Retirement, in the traditional sense of the word, is not where he's focused. He has a passion for action and engagement.
Everybody has their own situation, and if they don't enjoy their work anymore, then that's unfortunate, and they should do something else. But I do everything I want to do. What do you do when you're retired, you know? Well, I don't play golf.
Sidney Levy earned his doctoral degree from the University of Chicago in 1956. In the 1990s, he wrapped up his career at Northwestern University in Illinois and moved to Tucson with his wife. They wanted more sunshine and a slower pace. Levy was in his 70s then when he received the call from the University of Arizona's Eller College of Management. The marketing department had an opening.
I was retiring here, but they hired me to chair the department here, which they needed somebody at the time. I said, I'm not looking for a job. I'm too old. But they said, well, until we find somebody, 2 years. 2 years turned into 7 years. I was head of this department. And then they found a really good head person, and so I just moved down the hall.
And 2 decades later, he continues to show up for work in that office down the hall. Not because he has to, but because he wants to.
This is my life. I love doing it. I love working with these young people. I love writing papers, going to conferences. I don't do a semester-long class, but I will take an individual class on a particular topic or a doctoral seminar.
That is a favorite activity, interacting with students whenever possible. And they are thrilled by the opportunity.
He has a real fire in him and a real love for what he does, and it's really nice to be in an environment where you're surrounded with people who really love what they do rather than complaining about it.
Well, what do you think about that problem?
Sidney Levy is described as a powerhouse in the world of marketing and consumer behavior, one of the top contributors on these topics in the 20th century. He has written or been mentioned in countless papers and books about these subjects, including this one in the 1950s.
I wrote a very innovative article as it happened. I wrote an article called The Product and the Brand, in which I, for the first time, was published the idea that people have brand images. People didn't talk about that before this article.
Time talking about not a specific study.
I've gone in and just dropped into his office and chatted about things. So it's incredible that here's one of the pioneers, still around, but also still accessible and just helpful.
I think it's pretty unique, but pretty amazing.
When Elena Urbina was looking for an advisor for her honors thesis, she received a PowerPoint presentation that displayed her options. As soon as Urbina heard about Dr. Sidney Levy's credentials, history, and experience, she picked him. No hesitations.
So I met with him right away and got him to sign the papers so that no one else would take him, and I'm really glad I did. It's quite an inspiration to have someone who has that depth of information. Everyone I tell about my thesis advisor is immediately very impressed and confused and shocked, but it makes sense to me.
Sidney Levy was born in 1921. He grew up in a poor Chicago neighborhood and never even thought he'd be able to afford a university degree, but international affairs would change his life. At the age of 20, World War II was just beginning. He joined the Army Air Force, and after 2 years in the service, a college education became reality. With 2 years' worth of the GI Bill, he embraced his studies enthusiastically. He completed his bachelor's degree in less than 3 years. The educational momentum was underway.
And they said, "You should get a PhD. You're a smart guy." I said, "What do I have to do that?" They said, "You learn everything about some topic and then you add to it." And I said, "Well, I could never do that." But then I met other doctoral students on campus and I thought, heck, if they can do it, so can I.
He did get that PhD while having met the love of his life, Babette Adler. Together, they traveled the world, collected artwork, and forged new friendships. They were together for more than 50 years until she passed away in 2005.
She was just a fabulous, fabulous woman. I can't talk about her because I'll start to cry.
To this day, Sidney Levy is as involved as ever. His agenda is constantly expanding.
He carved these so beautifully, so carefully. We were in his studio, he's sitting on the floor. There's no reason to stop doing this as long as I have my health. I don't have my health totally. I'm an aging body like anybody else, and I'm losing my hearing, I'm losing my central vision, but I'm energetic, I swim, I can run up and down stairs. I'm a 10-year survivor of a quadruple heart bypass. Anyway, that's who I am, that's what I do, and that's why I keep going. I go to opera, I go to concerts, I go to plays, I travel to other countries. So why would I stop doing all these things? To what end?